78% of suicide rates worldwide are men. What can we do to help them? Free healthcare. I think offering them a chance to talk in an informal way that doesn't put on too much pressure. Make it socially acceptable for men to seek help. I'm a woman, but it's important everyone can get access to mental health care. Give our more sharp objects? Make guns legal in more places? Oh, you meant to stop us killing ourselves. I for one, want to slice my wrists. To stop myself? I got a sick tattoo covering the area I was eyeing up. How about we start off simple by not accusing them of rape for every small action they perform? Stop telling us we can't have certain problems because we're men. Also acknowledge homelessness. Obviously we're working on it. Bullshit child custody rulings, ignoring sexual assault claims because we're guys. I'm not saying guys are never in the wrong, but these are things that can drive people to suicide. Be open about guys expressing their feelings. Not be toxic cunts to men just for being men. I know it's obvious, but it is still a big deal. Well, I don't stop calling them unmanly just because they don't meet your standards. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Karen, you thirsty bitch. Better male role models on TV. It seems like men are almost always dumb or evil. Encourage open talk as a positive, not negative or shameful. Making access to easy suicide methods more difficult. Suicidal thoughts are very common to have at some point in your life. Most people have it at some point, although it can be as little as once. If there's no easy way to do it, people are less likely to. People who try to commit suicide are most likely to do so in the spur of the moment, and unplanned. This is why stuff like safer gas for ovens, waiting time for guns or other limitations, smaller pill quantity works. Someone ask us how we're doing. Please or don't, and I'll keep on keeping on like I've been. Meetup helps. Best I can think of is a video game group. Stop hating them. Stop ignoring men and talking shit on them. Fix marriage. It's a religious ceremony that we involve the law in, and men get absolutely raped by a divorce. How many suicides are due to divorce abuse? Paying alimony to a woman who cheats or leaves or whatever the fuck it is for life? Paying child support for a kid who isn't theirs? The laws toward men are absolutely crippling. Registered nurse here who works with the homeless. Many are mentally ill or who otherwise need medication, but are in denial and refuse it. Society has rules they find difficult or impossible to follow, like bathing, not shoplifting, being told what to do, where to go, and when. Many are arrested, declared insane and sent to hospital for medication. Once there they have the right to refuse services. After discharge the cycle repeats itself. We refer to some patients as our job security. Stop shaming men who actively attempt to show any time of emotion. Teach from a young age that showing emotion is fine, and try to have kids think why they feel the way they do. Honestly changes an outlook someone will have as an adult so much it's unbelievable. Try to implement this with even young family members. You'll notice a difference in the way they think and act in a positive way. Not saying this is a fix, but can definitely assist in preventing people from going towards the direction of self-harm or suicide. After a long time. A question that matters. Stop ruining men in divorce. Ask us if we're doing okay and end the stigma of men need to always be tough. Let them talk about their feelings and tell them we love and appreciate them. I think it most likely has to do with the standards between women and men. A woman could easily accuse someone of false rape and nobody would question the crying woman. Just any type of double standard needs to be erased from society. That would help a lot. Why just the men? Shouldn't we be worried about the women? And the children too? The majority of that 78% is white males from 20 to 35 too. I was almost a statistic of that recently. For me it boiled down to extreme loneliness, no opportunities, nobody ever called to say hello. It was always me calling. After a while of that you start to figure that nobody gives a shit about you. And if someone does call you, it's hey, how are you? Cool, so I'm needing help moving furniture this weekend. It's never to hang out, it's always only when they need something from me. We are treated like donkeys instead of humans. Jobs are hard to come by. Add that all up and anyone would be begging for a bullet to the head. All community is dead. Responsibilities are up. The pressure is up. There is no hope that pressure will subside. Pressure, plus, responsibilities, community, hope equals a lot of tragic endings. Teach men to be men, and not the stereotypical masculine man. But how to cope with stress, how to master something, how to handle arguments, bullying, from both men and women, etc., how to be self-sufficient, how to handle rejection. I've been dealing with depression for a couple years now, got anxiety last year. What can I do to stop feeling depressed and anxious? Convince people that men do have emotion. Scientifically, it takes a considerable amount more to make a man cry than a woman, since the glands that make breast milk are connected to the tear ducts, which leads some people to legitimately believe that men can't feel emotion, and disregard any mental problems that they may have. They feel the emotions, it just takes more to yield the physical response of crying. Start realizing that men can have mental health issues too, and that society slapping a man up or be a man label on it is not helping. I think a big part of it is we really don't ask how people are and ask what their struggles are. We just kind of assume. The other night my cousin, which is male, tried to kill himself and is still in the hospital. Nobody really knew he was struggling. Just to be clear, lots of people and organizations saying it's okay to share your feelings as a man doesn't equal sharing your feelings as a man is actually a good idea. In fact, I would guess that men choosing to share more are actually getting worse outcomes. End feminism. Men need two things: we need to feel wanted, be needed, and we need a purpose. But many of us are discarded, stuck in bullshit jobs, or basically considered by society to be disposable or an optional extra. Women no longer need us, or so they keep reminding us via memes and macros on social media. Our employers will kick us out at a moment's notice, and the media portrays us as either useless incompetents who need to be saved by a strong female lead, or a psychopath. Seriously, try finding a positive male role model for young boys. We used to have Doctor Who, but we're blamed for all the ills of the world, and women treat us with fear and suspicion. Complain, and you're shut down as an incel or told to check your privilege. We're in a lose-lose situation, basically. Fuck that shit. Be consistent in what society expects of men. Men are pretty much simultaneously expected to be all things and then vilified for those same things. Men are becoming neurotic and acting out because there's no consistency. Society wants us to be stoic and traditional, build a family and put our own dreams on hold for that. But then we're told we're perpetuating toxic masculinity. So we should be more in touch with our emotions, pursue our own dreams and interests, but then we are told we're pussies and need to man up. And the inconsistency is pretty consistent throughout our lives. Little boys can't play with dolls, but they can't rouge house either. Teenagers are expected to sit still and shut up and pay attention, then everyone wonders why youth sports are going down the shitter. Then we grow up and are told that we need to work 10 hours a day to provide for our family, then still find time to be a good father and a compassionate husband and be involved in local events and fix the car. Then we get divorced because our wife isn't happy, and she takes the kids because we're not able to dedicate time to them. Being a man kind of sucker. And I want to point out, there's no point to asking if men or women have it worse. There is no worse, there's only different challenges placed on individuals. Cock and ball torture. Talk, talk, talk and talk, from the youngest little boy to the lonely old man. Just keep talking, heart. Honestly, once they make it into that statistic it's probably a little late. And toxic masculinity. Manliness isn't about being steadfast, or always suppressing your emotions. It's not be afraid of how others judge you when you express yourself, regardless how you express yourself. Not abandon your best friend of 10 years after he begged you for help. Fuck you, Sam. removed. Stop calling them toxic. Make women better at it. Allow them to express themselves. There isn't a large biological difference for emotions between men and women. Social factors have a larger influence and usually affect how men and women express emotion. Due to these social factors, men tend to bottle up their emotions. I suppose one way to help men is to not make it seem that men and women have completely different emotional experiences. Also, using American society as an example, working a lot, technology, encouraging independence, and other things, makes it difficult to establish deep human connections. This affects both men and women. We have less time to make for people in our life. We minimize human interaction via convenience, for example direct deposit versus going to the bank. Frees up time spent, but we don't really allot that time to spending time with other people. So, harder to develop relationships where you can share emotions with others and all that good stuff. With